Hello and welcome to the world of EDC. My name's Jeff, and today we're going to be reviewing a very interesting little pocket knife. This is the Kizer Yorkie, and I know this knife has been out for a little while, but I just recently got my hands on it, and so I figured I would give it a chance, put it in my pocket, give it a carry, and see what I think about this knife. And the overarching theme of this review is going to be that I like this knife in spite of its flaws. And typically I don't go into most knives' flaws. I try to pick out one or two things that really do bother me, and then I leave it at that. This knife I enjoy despite its many flaws, and I just want to start off by saying that so that I don't waste any of your guys' time by explaining all these things and then at the end telling you to buy it. I recommend this knife because it is a very interesting knife. It's great for EDC, but it has a couple of quirks and a couple of things that you have to kind of remember about it. And it's not just it's something that you have to think about to carry, I guess is what I'm going for. So let's quickly get into a couple of the things that I'm talking about here. So when the detent, when you have it closed in the detent, it just has a real bad habit of misfiring. And I would expect that to be my normal opening, not this. And so what happens is I have to get way out on the tip of this here with like the bone of my finger. I hope you guys can see that to get that action there. If I'm any more into this ramp, it tends to fail. And when you get one in hand, I think you'll agree with me that I'm not just doing that. It's something that you consciously have to be aware of the flick. And I think it's because the detent ball is just a little bit too light on it. But I think if they went the trade-off is that if they went any tighter, you wouldn't enjoy such a great action on it, because it does have a great action. When you do get it to fire, it's crisp, it feels great. But that's the first criticism I have on it. The second one is that flipper tab is the only traction that the knife has, and I feel like it's begging, because it's in titanium, I feel like it's begging for something else. And I don't want to say jimping, because then it ruins the beautiful lines, and I just can't really pinpoint what else I'm looking for to get it some more traction without taking away from its beauty and the simplicity of its design. And so that's why I say it's great, but it has quirks, and so you have to take the trade-off. It's beautiful, but therefore it's not the most traction knife. And so, it's only, for me, this knife is only meant for opening a package, opening an envelope. I wouldn't put any kind of hard use on this knife. Again, S35 VN steel. This is kind of going to be a theme if you watch my channel for the next few videos. I just really enjoy the steel. S35 VN for me is a home run steel. It all the things that I've said before and all the things that I'll continue to say about it. Holds an edge well. It's easy to sharpen. I don't have many experiences. I do have one experience of it rolling on me, but I was putting it to a really hard use. I can I'll get to the review on it. The knife that I'm talking about is the Cold Steel Code 4, but it was my Tanto, and I was cutting into a piece of mail that had some staples in it, and instead of going around the staples or whatever else, I consciously made the decision to push into that staple. And I know that staples aren't hardened steel and blah blah. It should be able to go through that with no problem, but I really cranked down on it, and it did roll just a bit. And so that was user error, using a knife not the way it should be used, I guess, is the moral of that story. But back to S35 VN, that's the only instance of any kind of damage a knife has taken that I've used in my personal use. Your mileage may vary, your experience is probably different than mine, but that's what I've experienced with this blade steel. I enjoy it. I think it's the best on the market, and considering that you can find really decent knives or really decent price knives with that steel, I think that it's the better buying option for consumers. So, moving into I just have a lot to say about this knife. It's something that I've thought about for a long time, because my first instinct was to give this knife a bad review, but it's not a bad knife. It's not. I have no real qualms with it. Could it be more deep carry? Yes, but that's Kizer's clip. They just enjoy putting that clip on their knives. And so I think once you train yourself to flip it and you realize that you can't allow yourself to get this result, and you focus on that flip and you learn how to get it done by muscle memory, I think that you can overlook that. You can overlook the traction, I guess it would be considered ergonomic, stability in your hand. Once you get past those things, it feels great in the pocket. It has one little thing, and that's the flipper, but you can get your hand past it relatively easy enough in your pocket. I found that this knife carries mostly decently in your coin pocket, so that's an option, so that you don't have to get past that flipper tab to get into your pocket to get things. So that's a great option. So all around, I just think it's a really great knife for EDC if you're willing to accept some of the things that it offers, as far as drawbacks or trade-offs, in as far as like the perfect knife. Is this the perfect knife? No. Would I recommend that you buy one? Sure. I don't see any problem with it. I think that if you're using it for the things that I talk about, opening packages, boxes, cutting down a little bit of cardboard, different things like that, just normal everyday carry stuff, I think that this knife serves you well, considering that it's, for me, a great size for EDC. And that, to me, is why this knife feels like a winner. It feels like, I would compare it to about, and I didn't bring out any knives for size comparison, but I'd put it around the same ballpark as like a Spyderco Dragonfly. It just feels like that in your hand, as far as it's just enough knife to get the job done, but not too much to where you don't feel comfortable taking it out in front of people or anything like that. It's just a great EDC option. So with all that being said, please let me know how you guys feel about this knife and my review of it in the comment section down below. Please like the video. It really does help me and the channel to grow. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.